Okay, the next step is to take a look at how much traffic this site's actually getting down to the page level. Obviously, we don't want to start blowing pages away or consolidating pages if those pages are actually getting traffic. Okay, if they're getting traffic, that means they're performing well and potentially converting. So in order to perform this step, we're going to log into Google Analytics. As you can see here, I've gone to the Alex Mandry website. And we're going to go down to engagement and go to pages and screens. If we go to engagement, this will show us engagement across all channels. And this is just the way in which I prefer to do it. I want to see traffic across all channels, regardless of channel. Now remember, if you remember back to previous lesson where I spoke about, make sure when you're performing this step and you're looking at traffic, you're looking over a reasonable timeline. Okay, you don't want to be looking to see, okay, has this thing had any traffic and only going back 30 days? That's not really ideal. You want to be going back, for me at least, I go back a year if possible, or close to it. Okay, because we want to know with absolute certainty whether or not pages are getting traffic or they're not getting traffic. So as you can see below here, we can get a brief snapshot. This is only for the last 28 days. Obviously, we want to go further back than that. So in order to be sure, let's go back to, let's say here, let's go back to the 1st of January up until today, which is the 29th of September. Okay, so this will give us almost 10 months or 9 months worth of data, which should be sufficient for what, the sort of information that we're trying to take a look at here. So just at a quick glance here, let's go rows, let's go out to 50. We can see already, just by looking at this, you can see the majority of the traffic is going to the home page. They've also got this unusual page here. I'm not sure what happened. Obviously, they've made a change somewhere and created a new home page, which is a bit unusual. Our team page is getting traffic, which is fine. Looks like the main page for family lawyers that hangs directly off Sunshine Coast is getting traffic. That's worth noting. Then more contact us, which is probably understandable. It's going to be fairly common. Most sites you'll find it, the majority of traffic is going to the home page and the contact page, maybe the about page, which is true in this case. And then from there, it looks like it's a lot of the traffic is hitting the service pages, the thank you page, which is I believe in this case tied in with Google Ads, which we'll check in just a minute. And then as you can see, the numbers are really starting to drop off here, especially as we get closer to the bottom. Okay, we're getting into location pages. These are suburb pages on the Sunshine Coast. Okay, so this is fairly typical for what you'll see across most sites. You'll find that maybe 5 or 10% of the pages are getting 100% or 90% of the traffic, and then from there it sort of just drops right off. So we want to keep a copy of this so that we can pull it down into a Google Sheet or an Excel spreadsheet. To do that, click on Share, click on Download File. We'll download a CSV. I believe this will open up on screen, and this is handy information to have in a sheet like this for obvious reasons. And of course, I'm only working with Excel here locally, just as a starting point. Obviously, when you get all of this information together, put it into a Google Sheet and share it with your team. Okay, so we can see the URLs down the left, and we can also see how many views those pages have had for this over this period of time, which is almost say 9 months, or it is 9 months. Okay, so there's nothing in here that comes as any surprise. This is all fairly typical. You can see right down the bottom here, there's pages that have been here for over a 12-month period. They've had 1 visit, so they're really not doing too much at all. Don't forget, like I said, you can't make assumptions here that just because a page has only had let's say 15 visits over 12 months, that it's worthless, because for all we know, a case or a legal matter for this particular client could be worth several $1,000s, and even if that's converted once over that 12-month period, that's a page that might be worth keeping. So you need to be mindful of that, and that all falls under conversions, which I spoke about just a moment ago. Okay, so let's save a copy of that. Oops, save a copy of this into our Alex Mandy folder. So we've got everything together. And this will be, let's see, GA traffic. Let's call it Alex Mandry GA traffic. Okay, that will do for that. All right, great. And of course, we'll be able to refer to this as part of our, decision-making process when we start using the site restructure planner, just as we do for our links and everything else.